get a little witchy and a little weathery. Hello, I think I'm live now on Facebook. One day I will start the Witchy Weather Report on time, but today is not that day. we just got to do what we got, what we have available to us. And on time was not fully available to me today, but I'm here. Hey, Ondine. Hey, production babes. Which production babe am I talking to right now? How you doing? Hey, Erin, how are you? Good meowing. All right, let's get my banners up. So, my name is Rory Kelly, and I, every month, go live on the last Saturday of the month at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. 11:07 a.m. today, Eastern Time. To share with you a witchy weather report. And I do cards for as many people I get to up until noon. I have a hard stop at noon because I am usually running out to a gig on Saturday afternoons in my other life, my music life. So let's begin, shall we? Oh, it's Melissa. Hi, Melissa. Can't hear. I want to tell Melissa, I'm sure you can hear me because I asked which production babe and you answered me. I know there's a way to toggle the volume, but I'm not positive what it is. However, you should be able to hear me on Facebook, Twitch, etc. All those kind of places. I am live in multiple places, so I hope you can find me and tune in that way. Let's see, I have some comments going on. Hopefully the Facebook tunes, kids have arrived. No fancy glasses today. You can hear me on Twitch. Here we go, take two. Hopefully you can hear me. Cool. Yeah, I think the volume should be good. And I'm over here like, oh, if you can't hear me, try doing this. And I'm like, but if they can't hear me, they won't know to try unless they can read lips, which is impressive. I can't. Not very well, anyway. All right, so we're reading today with the Everyday Witch Tarot, my old reliable friendly deck. Those of you who know me well that know that this is a deck I go to when I'm like, it's my comfort deck, it's my security blanket deck. So I am glad to be reading to you today with this. I see that we are live on Twitch. Let me make sure Facebook is live. If you, you had to go to my feed, which means you had to lead. But yeah, I know like sometimes Instagram like is annoying about volume and like it's not easy. Okay, I'm glad you can hear me again. Or I'm glad you can hear me for the first time. Melissa Marie dropping cats in the chat. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. If you could do me a favor, and wherever you're watching this, if you could throw a share, just to like signal boost oomph a little bit for the Witchy Weather Report, that would mean a lot to me. I want to make sure that people see. I always give this a share on Facebook at the beginning. I know it takes a couple extra minutes, but what I've been told by people is they get the notification that I'm live, but not until like late in the broadcast sometimes, so that sucks. So I'm like, let me help with a signal boost. With signal boosting my own self. Because you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Hey Chaka, good meowing. How are you? All right, we got a bunch of our regulars tuned in. Got a couple of patrons to pull cards for. If you're a patron, you get a guaranteed card. You have the opportunity to ask a question before in our Discord. But even if you ask the question here, you do get a guaranteed card, even if I'm over time, because patrons support me and I support them back. If you're interested in becoming a patron, it's $1 a month or whatever you can afford at patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot. You may also be interested to know that I just released, just last week, a podcast on balancing spirituality and skepticism, which it's funny because my patron Grayson kind of brought this topic up in the Discord when I asked for topic suggestions. And they prefaced it by saying, I don't know if this is just me. And what's funny is every single person that I've talked to about it has been like, oh, me too. Yes, I really also need to talk about that topic. So it is not just Grayson. It is all of us. It is an opportunity to approach things like folk magic and ritual and like witchy things and crystals from a psychological, psycho-spiritual perspective and work on like tuning our subconscious in to better beliefs than maybe we were given, like in our childhood, and working through trauma and adjusting and adapting ourselves to be more adaptable and to create a better lives for ourselves, purely psychological, and how ritual is the best way to, or is one of the best ways to do that. I don't want to like crap on other ways. But if you're interested in that, you can find it at Sassafras Cast, anywhere you listen to podcasts. And also you can click the link on my bio. If you're on Instagram, you'll find it. Hey, Brendan, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, let's get moving. I see some folks on Twitch. I see some folks on Facebook. So if you would like me to pull a card for you, the secret code is to drop a cat in the chat. Write meow or drop a cat emoji of your choice into the chat, and I will know to pull a card for you. I will get to everyone in the order that your cats appear. Okay, cool. I see we already have a spammer in Facebook. I'm gonna block them. Cool. Great. I want to remind you all, and I think a spammer got someone last week, because I had someone come in the chat and say, I sent you money for my reading, and I didn't receive anything. And I offer these freely. I love when y'all tip me. I'm appreciative. But I think that this person didn't tip me. I think that they sent money to a spammer. So I want to remind you, I'm never going to ask you to send money. If you wish to, there's a virtual tip jar. It's Venmo at Rory Kelly. You can do that, but you don't have to. I will pull a card for you either way. And if you want to order a reading, that only happens through my Etsy site. I will never ask you to do it another way. Good magical morning. Hey, Brianna, how are you? Okay, let's do a card for all of us to get things started. We just had the equinox. I think at this point you have all heard my TED Talk about balance and how it's an unattainable state. There is no point in your life or anyone's life at which we will be in perfect balance, because that's not how balance works. It's like a seesaw, right? The seesaw, you can set it up so that the seesaw is in perfect balance, but I will also say that defeats the purpose of a seesaw, right? It's no longer a fun game then, it's just sitting there. The goal for balance is to notice when things are out of whack and then to rebalance them, to swing the pendulum back and rebalance them. And when something is too much on one side, for example, if we feel like a relationship we're in or a work situation in is all give with no receiving, then it's appropriate for us to actually swing farther in the other direction, to be like, okay, well, now I'm going to make sure, I'm going to rebalance this by making sure that this gets addressed. And because we've been too much on one side for a while, I'm actually going to pull over a little further. Okay, we have another, it's like a big Facebook spam party today. I love it. Happy Witchy Weather Report, everybody. Happy Saturday. I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging with me. Okay. I'm going to pull a card for everyone. So the spring equinox is about balance. That's why I bring that up. Hello, Louise. Welcome. If you would like me to pull a card, the secret code is to drop a cat emoji in the chat. Either put a cat emoji or write the word meow, and I'll pull a card for you. You are welcome to ask a particular question. I'm pulling cards for everyone I can get to up until noon, my time. I'm in New York, so that's the top of the hour. It's now 11:18, so up until noon. Cats for Chaka and Angela. Love it. We got a lot of cats in the chat, so let's get started. And remember, as we go through the spring equinox, you will get people trying to spiritual bypass you about balance. And sometimes it's spiritual bypassing. You'll get people trying to tell you like, oh, when your life is in balance, you're so much happier. And I know this because I'm in perfect balance. They're not, and they don't know. It's a constant adjustment. The message of balance truly is constantly readjusting, constantly growing and constantly learning, and constantly learning about your boundaries and learning how to be generous and learning how to receive as well. It's supposed to not stop. You never get there. It's supposed to be a journey, not a destination. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Here is a card for everybody. This is our card for the month. We have the Hermit. Turn within for your wisdom. Even like if Rory the tarot card reader tells you to do something and your inner wisdom says something different, listen to you, listen to your inner wisdom. The Hermit reminds us to look within and also at our inner fire in particular as we enter into Aries season. Happy birthday, Aries friends. Specifically, we are tuning into our inner passion, our inner pleasure, our inner desire, as well as the flip side, the shadow side, some might say, of our inner fire, which is our anger, our fears, our boundaries, even, I'm going to say it, our ego. People like to demonize the ego, but I'm here to remind you that it's just a piece of our personality. If you look at Freudian psychology, which I don't always enjoy doing, but if you do, we have the ego, the superego, and the id, the three parts of our personality that all work together to make us who we are. And the ego is an important part of our personality, setting us apart from other people and giving us boundaries. Are there times when our ego gets out of control and it causes us to have unrealistic expectations? Yes, but without it, we also can't have good boundaries. Without it, we can't have a defined sense of self of you're you and I'm me and my needs are important even if they're different from yours. The ego blesses us with that. So let's not hate on our egos forever. That's another spiritual bypassing. Ooh, Rory's just calling out spiritual bypassing left and right this morning. That's the kind of day it's going to be. So I ask you to tune into your inner fire, to those parts of yourselves that actually light you up and make you who you are and make you exciting and charismatic as well as excited and joyful and pursuing things in life. I ask you to tune into your inner fire this month. What makes you really excited? What makes you white hot angry? What makes you light up with passion and joy? What do you want? What can you never get enough of? I want you to tune into that inner fire because that inner fire never doesn't have a message for you. Never doesn't. That's how I'm speaking today. That's how we're doing grammar today. Let that be your guide in Aries season. And I want to remind you to make it your inner fire, nobody else's. I don't want you to turn into the shoulds. Don't should all over yourself. I want you to tune into what is important and magical and deeply moving to you on the good side and the bad side. What makes you feel great and what makes you feel like this is nonsense, this has to change, because both are important and both are teaching you what your path is on this life. When you are not sure where to tune in, you take a step back and you tune into the inner fire. However that means for you. Turn within for wisdom. Big yes. Thank you. Thank you for appreciating me. And yeah, anger is an important thing. Don't shoot all over yourself is something my old therapist used to tell me all the time. Yeah, it's great. I love it. It's a favorite catchphrase. Yeah, don't shoot all over anyone. Good call. Yes, agree. So the Hermit is our card for the month. The answers lie within, and specifically tune into your inner fire. Tune into those parts of your personality that you may sometimes bypass because you think they're not palatable enough, that they're too much. They're too angry or too desirous or just too extra. You know what I mean? Like, be extra. If you can't be extra with yourself, who the hell can you be it with? You deserve all the extra you. You deserve to be you with extra sauce, my friends. Oh, thank you, Bree. Bree says, I love the amount of thought and knowledge behind everything you say. I always feel so informed. Thank you. That's the nice view of it. The other view is that Rory lectures you every month. All right, I'm going to get started pulling cards. I know I have some people in Instagram and Facebook and Twitch who have requested cards. I am first going to go for the pre-requested cards from my patrons. Those are in the Discord, and then I will get to everyone who has dropped a cat or requested a card. First, while Discord loads, a quick hydration checkpoint. Cheers, everybody. Make sure you're taking care of your body. You deserve it. Your body deserves it. Take care of yourself like a sweet little plant that you water and put in the sunlight and give yourself good growthing environments. Good growthing. Can we say that from now on? Instead of like, have a great day, can we just say good growthing? Good growthing is doesn't always feel great, but like it's always worth it. It's always good. Good growthing, everybody. Okay. First, I'm going to pull a card for Grayson. Grayson did not request a particular question. Bree says, love the lectures. Give it to you. Oh, I'll give it to you, babe. Don't worry. So I'm just going to pull a card for Grayson. Next up, we have Lisa Diana on deck from the Patreon Discord. Then we're going to just go down the list. So don't worry, my loves, I'll get to you. Card for Grayson. Grayson, your card is the 10 of Cups. What makes you feel like family? What makes you feel like home? What are the things that make up a home emotionally, as well as like practically? You know, what is it that makes you feel like I'm safe, I'm home, I'm loved, I'm surrounded by community? When we talk about family, I am always talking about chosen family. Now, sometimes you do choose your blood family, right? Sometimes that's your chosen family, but sometimes your blood family, you know, certain members are crappy and awful to you. And I do know people who have had to cut off members of their blood family or been cut off. And I want to tell you, family is chosen family. Family is those who you choose and who choose you and who all feel like they fit together and have something to teach each other and have kindness between them. That's what I mean when I talk about family. So what is it that makes you feel familial? What is it? Perhaps this is something you can rediscover right now, Grayson. What is it that makes you feel like you can be who you are and the other people around you can be who you are? It's all different, right? Family is one of the things. Like, we're all different. We fit together. Sometimes we press each other's buttons and drive each other crazy, but at the end of the day, we have each other's backs. What is it that makes you feel like that? What is it that makes you feel belonging? That's something to tune into and tap into right now. You can grow at this time in relationship, not just alone. So this is a balance point for you of exploring your inner fire, because we have the Hermit this month, exploring your own individuality, and also exploring what that inner fire and individuality needs in relationship. We get our trauma in relationship, we heal from trauma in relationship. So we should show up for our own self-healing, and part of how we do that is by nurturing our relationships to make sure they are nurturing to us. And if they're not, then we have to address that. Otherwise, we are betraying ourselves. So check on in with yourself and what it looks like to have family for you. And if you can, give yourself some of that family medicine. Brittany says, I am a human, a specific kind of houseplant. Yes, me too. All right, Lisa Diana asked a really good question. And specifically, the question is, how do I find the energy to put my house back together by myself? I don't know if this is a metaphorical house or literally a house, like house cleaning, like spring cleaning, or kind of like my house, like my, you know, my vibe, my situation, when it's causing a depression flare-up. I want to thank you for being like earnest with your question, and I want to tell you I've been there, and I know a lot of people who have been there, and that you're not alone and there's nothing wrong with you. I just want to share that for starters. And I want to share that when we feel feelings like this, and when we feel big things like a flare-up, you mentioned the word flare-up, I want to remind you that a flare-up is a temporary passing thing, right? It can flare up, it can flare down. So it's not forever, and sometimes it's okay to just not put pressure on ourselves to be perfect. When we're experiencing hardships in life, we don't have to act at the 100% that we were able to act at when we were experiencing ease. When we're experiencing ease, we have a deeper well to draw from. When we're experiencing hardship, it's not the time to put extra pressure on ourselves, right? We should actually go easy on ourselves. So that's just my advice to you as one human houseplant to another, to make sure you're taking good care of yourself and making that a first priority. Now let me consult the cards for you. Okay, we have the Five of Pentacles. So what I'm getting from this is that you actually need shelter and kindness now more than you need to be productive, and that will speed things along. If you give yourself permission to ask for help, if you give yourself permission to receive, if you give yourself permission to just allow yourself to be taken care of rather than be the caretaker of everyone and everything, that is what is called for right now. The Five of Pentacles speaks to depletion, inner depletion, as well as like practical depletion, right? Like things are not right, so this can look like things like depression. It can look like things like illness and chronic illness. It can look like things like money troubles. And when we're experiencing those things, it's not the time to demand that we be perfect, right? That is harmful. That's a toxic thing to demand of ourselves. We wouldn't demand it of another person, right? Like that's the crappy person saying like, hey, homeless person, I'm not giving you money. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. What we need is compassion when we're struggling. We don't need to be yelled at. We don't need a boot camp mentality. So I want you to please, if you can, give yourself compassion. And please, if you need help, ask for it, because you deserve and are worthy of help, and do your best to Do your best to seek out shelter where you have received shelter in the past or where you think you are likely to get it, because you don't want to waste your time seeking out shelter from people who are going to be crappy to you. You don't need crappiness right now. Seek out kindness, seek out compassion, seek out help with the basics. You don't have to do all the basics on your own right now. That is your answer. Okay. The Witchy Weather Report is very specifically telling us a specific kind of story, and I'm here for it today. Yeah, very real. Hey, Elizabeth, welcome. Yes, you may. I will pull a card for you in the order, like I'm getting to everyone in order. So yes, absolutely. I will let you know. Our secret code is, if you want a card, to drop a cat in the chat, put a cat emoji, or write the word meow. And we do that because spammers come here and like scan for words like, can I have a card? And then they like try to scam you, and they try to get you to DM them and like spend money on a reading with them, and I'm not going to do that. So if someone is spamming you and saying friend request me and message me and send me money for your reading, that's not what this is about here. I just want to reiterate that because I think we have had someone like be affected by a spammer before here. I'm never going to say, send me money and I'll give you a reading. You are welcome to tip me. I have a virtual tip jar. It's in the description and it's also in my links, but it's not going to give you a better reading. It's just like something, if you want to do for your generosity, I'm thankful, right? But I'm never going to say, DM me for a reading. If you want to buy a reading with me, like a full reading with me, that's on my Etsy shop. That's in my link in my bio. I think it's linked in the description here. I will never, ever be the person who's like, DM me, pay me, send me money, and I'll send you a reading. First of all, I don't have time for that. Secondly, that's what spammers do. I want to make it really clear. You can get a reading from me, one card, by coming to the Witchy Weather Report, or you can order one from the Etsy. That's it. If anyone asks you to do anything else, they're a scammer. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Sorry. Sorry for the lecture. Thank you for your meow is registered. Don't worry. I'm lecturing because I don't want anyone to get taken in, because this is like a big problem on Facebook and Instagram right now. I'm going to call it out directly. Facebook and Instagram is not doing enough about scammers and spammers, and I don't see it on the other platforms. So take notice. Take notice, Facebook. Now maybe I'll go to Facebook jail. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, let's get going with our cards. I'm going to start with my Instagram friends. All right, first of all, I got a cat from Melissa. Who is on deck after that? Okay, we got Ondine, and then we got Chaka and Angela. So that's where we're starting. And don't worry, I will get to you. If I didn't say you yet, it's just because my brain will only hold so many people at a time. Melissa, Ondine, Chaka, Angela, then we'll keep going. I'm going to go into like lightning mode a little bit, so let me take a hydration checkpoint, because I do have my hard stop at 12, and I do want to get to you all. Cheers. Make sure to water the houseplant that you are. Melissa, here is your card. Your card is the Three of Pentacles. It's time to learn in an environment surrounded by other people who can teach you. You have things to teach them. They have things to teach you. This is interesting to me because I know what your professional life is like right now. It's time to soak up lessons from other people and like allow that to be a give and take flow. Don't get caught up in the idea that like you have nothing to learn, which I have never actually seen you caught up in that idea, so I don't think that that's the problem. Also, don't get caught up in the idea that you're the humble student and you're just learning, and why am I even here? Because you have a lot to offer as well. If someone's teaching you something, assume that you also have something to teach other people. Allow that to be a give and take and a flow. Allow yourself to ask for help early and often, and allow yourself to offer help and let people know you're available to help mentor them, because you'd be surprised how many people actually want to learn from you. That is a real thing. And let it be a creative flow that goes both ways. It's going to be chaotic, right? It's not usually going to be a 50-50 experience. You're going to find yourself like in student mode at times, and you're going to find yourself fully in teacher mode at times, and embrace both modes. This is a time of, both modes, by the way, can teach you a lot. So this is a time of great learning and development for you that is going to pay off for years to come. Ooh, English breakfast tea. I love it. Yeah, let me ask you my 3 questions I didn't get to this morning. Question 1, how are you feeling today? I want the real answer, not the polite answer. We support each other on this broadcast. Question 2, what are you sipping on? I'm sipping on water, as you have seen. And question 3, where are you tuned in from? I am broadcasting from Long Island, New York. All right, next up we have Ondine. I'm going to pull a card for you. I don't think Ondine asked for a particular card. I think she just said good meowing. Okay, so well, let me scroll all the way down just in case. Hey Neva, how are you? Welcome. In case you do not know, if you would like a card, the secret code is to drop a cat emoji in the chat or to write the word meow. I do that because spammers see the word tarot or cards and like be spammy. But if you write meow, then we all know. And also cats. We love cats. Yes. Cat card for Neva. Okay. You're on deck. You're at the end of the line, but we'll get to you. Melissa says, I feel amazing. Best I've felt in weeks. Slaying this new job. Yes, you are. I don't even need to be there to know that you are. That's so amazing. Drinking water. Eating pizza in a lift home. So I'm between Bay Ridge and Bayshore. Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay, Ondine, this is a card for you, my dear. Your card is the Ace of Cups, emotional renewal. If you have been looking for it, it's on the way, it's coming. So I want to just remind you to make room for it in your brain. You know, when we're in our frustration, when we're in our, I have to do this, I have to be productive, I have to get this done, when we're in that mindset, it's very difficult for us to experience our emotional renewal. So I ask you to turn within when you're able to. Our card for everyone for the month, if you missed it, this is a theme for everyone for this month, was the Hermit. We are asked to tune into our inner fire, both the parts of our personality that we like and the parts we don't like, because they all have a lot to teach us. So let's not judge ourselves, let's just listen. Like we would listen to a dear friend, let's listen to ourselves lovingly. And if you listen to yourself, Ondine, if you give it yourself enough time and like loving energy, you will find that you get that emotional fresh start breakthrough that you need. It's coming. It's available to you. I love it. Currently helping feeding my nephew a bottle while I sip coffee. Aw, I'm so sleepy and existing in the magical land of cold breath. He's very into the Witchy Report, teaching him young. I love it. Hello from Kentucky. Welcome, Cindy. How are you? If you would like a card, drop a cat emoji in the chat or write the word meow, getting to as many people as I can. Okay, about to pull cards for Chaka and Angela, and Chaka has just given me a status update. Ange is socially anxious but excited. Same, at all times. Sipping on a cinnamon oat milk iced coffee. I am feeling a rare burst of energy. Love it. Drinking a cappuccino, and we are both in the infamous Babylon. I love it. That's delightful. Okay, Chaka, here is your card. Your card is the Eight of Swords, my friend. It's time to break through the bullshit and know that your true self is the answer for getting you out. I'm going to say it again. Break through the bullshit that's coming externally and know that your true self already holds the answers for getting you out. Do you feel trapped? Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like you don't know how to move forward or how to get unstuck? I'm here to tell you, you can and you do, and the answer is going to come from within, not without. Your inner fire is going to teach you. Your inner wisdom is going to teach you. Tune into that rather than your fear feelings. Also, do listen. There will be, like, if you're feeling stuck on all sides, usually, first of all, it's not all sides, so tune in and ask yourself, are there actually differing viewpoints available to me? Because that's what this little bird represents. This little bird is the people who you actually can trust, who actually do have your back, who actually do want you just as you are, not you altered for public consumptions, the real you. Those people are also available to you at this time. Notice them, listen to them, believe them, allow them to be the alternative viewpoint to the overall crappy society viewpoint that gets thrown at us. Believe them and know that you have the strength to break through, to break free, whatever that means to you day to day, because I know that's a moving target. Okay. Hi, Judith. I was wondering where you are. How are you? Savannah says, feeling hopeful about spring. Love it. Me too. Drinking coffee. It's hot and delicious, and tuned in from Kansas City, Missouri. How are you, Roy? Thank you for asking. I'll be real. I'm a little overwhelmed. I got a big couple of days, kind of days where I'm like going from the morning until late at night for the next few days. But it's all stuff that's meaningful and important to me. So I'm excited and overwhelmed. That's how I am. Thank you for asking. Chaka says, fuck yeah, bullshit will not survive this Aries season. Preach. May it be so. Neva says, working remotely, anxious as always, Sable. Oh, I'm sorry you're anxious. I'm sending you all the lovey vibes. Okay, Angela, card for you, my love. Okay, here we go. Card for you. Angela, we have the Ten of Swords. My queen, are you dealing with some trauma? Because I just want to tell you, I'll be real. Savannah asked me how I am. That's also how I am. I'm dealing with trauma right now. I say it not to make this about me, but because I want you to know that you're not alone. The Ten of Swords has been coming up lately in spreads to represent not necessarily the current heartbreak, but the current thing that triggers all the old heartbreak, right? It's not just this one thing. It's the thing of like, oh, I'm not just feeling this moment's pain of what's going on. I'm feeling all of the stuff leading up to it that I didn't notice or that I pushed aside. Oh God, it's that feeling. And I want you to know you're not alone, and I want you to know you're going through it for something. And I want to ask you to give yourself the gift of going through it, to give yourself the gift of showing up lovingly for yourself, because often when we're experiencing trauma, when we feel like we're experiencing the same story again and again, the same pain story, we're given an opportunity, should we choose to take it, to love ourselves the way we weren't loved, the way we needed to be in the past. So please love you the way you needed to be loved in the past. And also, if you have others around you, I suspect you do, who are willing and able to show up for you unflinchingly and just like hold space for you and love you and give you the acceptance and the love that you had in the past, let them do it. And even, dare I say it, ask them to show up for you right now, because you deserve that kind of love. And the way that you will heal is by showing yourself it doesn't always have to be that way. There's another way. There's a way where I get love without having to compromise who I am. There's a way where I get love without having to turn off whole parts of myself, without having to put aside my needs. There's a way that I get love just as I am, as the human houseplant I am with real needs. And she says, trying to put myself out there and it's making me vulnerable. Oh, feel you. Trying to break the hermit habits. It's so funny because the hermit is our card, but I do know also what you mean of, the habit to kind of close herself off out of fear of vulnerability. I feel that. Yes, Melissa's highlighting something I just said. Now I'm going to highlight it too. Love you the way you needed to be loved in the past. Do it. You're worth it. You deserve it. You're so worth it. And if you don't know how, you don't have to fake it. Just treat yourself like a friend, right? If a friend came to you and said, I need this from you, I need this kindness from you, you'd be like, all right, that's not what I usually do, but I'll do my best for you, right? Just do your best for yourself. Show up. Be willing to grow for yourself. Be willing to be a dynamic friend for yourself. You deserve it. Angela, Brittany is sending you love from Twitch. And also, she says, I am also dealing with an influx of trauma stuff. Yeah, it's trauma season, y'all. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Saturn's in Pisces. Some things are happening. I don't know. It's wild. Rainy spring morning here in Syracuse. I love it. Okay, let's see. Yes, Chaka says, getting the message that Ange and I can lean on and boost up each other. Yes, 1,000,000%. What a blessing to be able to do that. Okay. Let's go to Facebook and Twitch, get a couple people from there, then I'll pop back over from Instagram, just trying to get everyone. Let's see. Also, meow, please, from Brittany. Okay, Brittany, and then who's on deck? Let's see who else I've got. Cool. And then I have Louise, and after that, that's who I got right now, and then I'll see more people. I see Ardell Wright, and I think Ardell shared like a graphic of some kind that doesn't come through in StreamYard. Let me go to Facebook and take a look at that. For right now, because if it's a cat, I want to pull a card, obviously. Yes, Angela says, turn my positive energy inward, not just outward. Yeah, don't give it all away. You deserve some for yourself. Look at these great cacti behind me. Can we all agree that succulents are awesome and cactuses are awesome? Cactuses are so cool, and they have friggin' spikes. Like, if you touch them, you could get hurt, right? Like, and we still all love them, Like, cactuses are, like, they have the clearest boundaries of any plant. They're like, touch me, you're gonna, fuck around and find out, you know what I mean? But if you're gentle with them, you get to really enjoy them, and they're so great. They're great plants. We love cactuses. We love succulents. Be the cactus you wish to see. You're allowed to have boundaries and still be loved. Okay, Brittany, card for you. Brittany, again, we have the Ten of Swords. It's funny because you just said, like, yeah, I'm also dealing with my trauma influx. Yeah, here we go. The thing that's calling to me, especially from the Ten of Swords, are two things: this feather dropping from this crow, as well as the witch in the card reaching for her broom. When you are dealing with pain and struggle and grief, what you tend to do is be like, how can I pull myself back up? How can I get back up again? How can I get moving again? Right? There's an urge to not just be productive, but like get moving and get out of it and move through that way, right? There's an urge to like, kind of like, well, I'm just going to get on my broom and get out of here, which is a healthy urge, right? Like to like move forward rather than, allow yourself to be hurt again. But sometimes when we need to heal, we actually do need to have permission for ourselves to grieve, right? And if we're constantly in motion, if we're constantly like, no, I'm fine, then what happens is we're just like going through life wounded and not giving ourselves time to heal. So I want to ask you if you can give yourself time to heal rather than like allow the impulse to be there of like, I just want to get moving, I just want to move forward, and allow yourself instead to say, but right now I'm going to heal. Right now I'm just going to take care of myself. I don't know anyone else, including me, anything else right now other than self-care. That's the priority. That's how I move forward. I move forward by caring for myself. I also want to talk about this crow and this feather because we have this like little crow friend, right? And the crow's literally dropping a feather. I want you to know that people care about you. This crow is like, it's a symbolic offering. Like the crow can't help. This person's covered in swords. You know what I mean? The crow's like, I can't help, but I care. I care about this suffering is what that feather says. And what I want to ask you to do, and Angela, this is for you too. You both got this card. It's both important. I want you to practice giving a shit. I'm cursing today. That's what's happening. I want you to practice giving a shit about your own suffering. I want you to practice saying to yourself, this is something I learned from Tara Brach, who is a meditation teacher who I really love. When you are in pain, when you are in struggle, in trauma, I want you to practice just putting your hand over your heart and saying to yourself and meaning it, I care about this suffering. We don't always know what to do. We don't always know what we need. We don't always know much beyond that we're in pain, but at least we can show ourselves that we care. We can say, I care about this suffering. It matters. Don't be your own trauma experience. You know what I mean? Like, don't be your own betrayer. Care about your own experience, care about your suffering. Chaga says twinsies. That's hilarious. Okay. Gosh, I'm trying to look at the comments and I can't see it. Well, Ardell, please, if you want a card, just like comment and be like, yes, me, or something like that, because I want to make sure I get to you. And for some reason, StreamYard is not showing me your full comment. Okay. After this, we have Louise, and Louise had a particular question. Louise said, oh, but by the way, thank you, Savannah. I just saw your comment. Thank you for everything you do. You're such a bright light in your world. Friggin' samesies. You're amazing. I'm so glad to see you. Louise, card on love, please. Wondering if Chris is a good match or another. That's a very direct question. I do want to say, like, please listen to your heart before you listen to tarot cards. You know, if the cards tell you one thing and your heart's like, no, this is what I really want, then the reading served its purpose by showing you what you really want, right? So, here's our lecture. I give it at least once per Witchy Weather Report. You are in charge of your own fate. I don't believe in fate. I don't believe necessarily in like soulmates and twin flames and things like that. And when someone asks me those things, I will not answer the question because it's not appropriate for me to tell you, yes, so-and-so is your soulmate, or no, so-and-so is your soulmate, and have that much power over your life, right? Those are very, very charged words, and it's important for you to have the power to make decisions in your life, including your love life. I know that's not exactly what you asked, and I just have to always give the lecture that your own heart should be the boss, not Rory the tarot reader. I don't want to, say something and have you do something on my say-so instead of listening to your heart. That's important to me. Okay. Now, to consult the cards for your question about Chris and whether Chris is a good match or another. Well, I have the Knight of Cups. That's a really nice card. There's a lot of vulnerability there. This is like, Knight of Cups is like young love energy. There's crush energy. There's a little bit of like unexplored self where it's just like where you're so wowed with someone. You're so excited that, you're like, oh, like everything this person does is magic, like the Police song, it's just so special. And so like there's that energy, and that energy is beautiful, and it usually comes with a side of vulnerability. It usually comes with a side of like, yeah, let's be open with each other. Let's get to know each other fast. Let's share what's going on. Let's share our secrets. Let's share our inner traumas. Let's show up for each other in gentleness and kindness, So Knight of Cups is a beautiful card. And what counts is the follow through, right? Like you already have that beautiful energy. And then what counts is both people being willing to be loving, kind adults and showing up for themselves and each other as you get that process going of getting to know each other. But Knight of Cups is always, it's the big romance card. It's a wonderful romance card. So wonderful potential. And remember to follow it through with self-kindness as well as kindness towards the other person. All right. What else do I see here? Oh my God, I have an indoor cactus 6 feet tall. That's amazing. I love that. Also, thank you. I also love the cacti. I needed to be brightened up today, so I'm like, cacti, it's cactus time. That's what time it is. It's cactus time. You're allowed to have boundaries and still be loved. Brittany says, hey, 10 of swords again for me. I know, I'm sorry. All right, back to our Instagram, and I'll come back around to everyone else. So let's see who else we got here. We got Bree. Bree has a, oh no. I'm like scrolling through the comments on my phone. It's always really awkward. Okay, Bree has a request for a card. Good magical morning. I love it. And I know Neva also wants a card. I'm going to give you a card. And let's see if there's anyone else on Instagram. I want to get to the bottom of my Instagram comments. Let me get to the bottom of this. Okay, so Bree and Neve are on deck, and then anyone on the other platforms. Y'all, my phone is at 5%. If I disappear off of Instagram, it's because my phone dies. Please go find me on Facebook. Oh, let's see. Wait a minute. Can I plug in? I can plug in because I have 97% on my computer. I can do this. Okay, hang on. I'm going to plug in the phone real fast because I don't want to lose you. Oh, yeah, now we have power. Woo! Okay. It's close. Okay, Bree, I'm pulling a card for you. I don't think I saw a question from you. Bree, if you had one, let me know, like refresh my memory. Okay. Bree, here is your card. Neva, you're on deck. Bree, your card is the Star. As above, so below, bitches. Let's talk about what inspires you, what brings you like beautiful, badass goddess energy, what makes you feel not just in your power, but it's something a little different than that. It's not just about power, it's more about potential and possibilities. What makes you feel lit up, like, yes, like the world is full of adventure and I want to have all of it. I'm so excited. That energy. Tune into those things. Give yourself as much of that like soul food as you can right now. If something excites you, follow it through and like love on it and get weird about it, get extra, you know, like give yourself all of the food for your joy that you possibly can. Lean into it, because what happens as you do this is you naturally, when you are lit up like that, you naturally light up others. You spread the joy. You are a conduit. You get the joy for yourself, and then your cup overflows, your cup runneth over, and then your joy spills out into other people's lives just by being in touch with you in day-to-day life. You know, just by having interaction and engagements with you, you give them the energy that they need to remind them how to love and live again. Teach us how to love again. Really though, you know, like right now you have this beautiful space where you can lean into your inspiration, and the weirder and bigger and more excited you are about it, actually the more of a blessing you are to yourself and everyone else. Get creative, love your creativity, own your creativity, take risks, be vulnerable, because as you do that, you give everyone around you permission to do the same, and you also just powerfully, like you light up the sky right now, you're a star. Own it. Allow yourself to be big. Allow yourself to be appreciated, because that's usually the thing that scares us, is when other people start noticing. Allow yourself to be noticed, because you're worthy of notice, and because when you do so, you can do your best work in the world. You bring so much good into the world when you allow yourself to shine. Shine, damn it. Okay, Neva, my meow question is my work. Is this the right place for me, or do I buckle down, or do I move on? Wow, great question. I have just mixed up my cards in a funny way. Let me fix it. What'd I do? God, Rory, what are you even doing? I need to go back to tarot school. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to pull a card for you. As always, I want to remind you, your inner guidance is the best source of input for this, because I never want someone to make a big decision, because Rory said, like, I'm not you know how there's like tarot memes that are like, dump him. I'm never the dump him tarot reader. Even if I'm reading a spread and I'm like, this person is awful and I hate them and I wish that they would break up, I still don't say dump him, because you know what? We all have to learn. I might say, here's what's going on in this relationship. Please use your judgment, right? Like I'll put the power in someone's hand. I'm like, listen, here's what's happening. What do you think you should do? But, at the end of the day, you have to decide. At the end of the day, it has to be your choice and your lesson. Okay. Anyway, so here's your answer. Here's your answer, Navy. It is the Page of Swords. Well, here's what I say. Page of Swords is really good new opportunity energy. It can mean go find something new and amazing. It can also mean bring that energy to your job and allow yourself to make the changes you need that will make you feel inspired again. If you're feeling burnt out and stuck, because there's a part of you right now that wants to learn, that wants to grow, that wants to speak and communicate and use your inherent energy, like your big Gemini energy. You're an air sign. Swords is about air, right? You want to connect with other people. You want to grow by communicating, by laughing and sharing and being honest. And if you feel like you can't do those things in your work environment, that sucks, and that's not a healthy growth place for you. And you also want to learn, you just want to better yourself because that's exciting to you. You're in cool student mode right now. You enjoy that. So either find opportunities to bring that energy into your work life, or find the work life that's going to bring that energy to you. I have a sense that either is possible, and this depends a little bit on you. If you're so burnt out that you're like, this sucks, maybe I should move on, then move on, then go look, you have opportunities. You can look at opportunities without it costing you your job, right? There's no reason not to do that. And also, if you look within the scope of your work environment and your work life and ask yourself, where can I be a student right now? Where can I grow by connecting with other humans? Where can I giggle and have fun? Because that's a piece of it, you may find that there's something there worth staying for. Or you may find, no, this really sucks, and that's your answer. You know what I mean? So that's the focus right now. Honor your need for learning. Honor your need for companionship and friendship, and allowing things to be low stakes and fun, and giggling through life. And honor your need to grow. Whatever form that takes, look for opportunities for it. And that will answer your question for you. Judith is on Facebook, and she's like, hi, everyone on other platforms. I love you guys. Did a card pull this week. This is from Angie. Did a card pull this week and got the 5 of Pentacles. And I'm like, where do I go from here? And I got Page of Swords. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and interpret your reading, even though you didn't ask me to, because this is who I am as a person. 5 of Pentacles is a card of depletion. It's a card of feeling like your needs aren't getting met and you don't know if they will get met. And that's frightening, right? And when we're talking about past trauma, it can really harken back to being a child and feeling like, oh, my needs won't get met unless I change myself, right? And that's terrifying, because if your needs don't get met unless you change yourself, then your need doesn't get met because your need to be yourself isn't getting met. And it's like, well, who else am I supposed to be? Shit, right? That's how we get trauma. So when you have where do we go from here and you get Page of Swords, it's time to speak up, and it's time to be the person maybe you weren't allowed to be in your childhood. And there's a reason it's the Page of Swords. The page is like a childlike card because there's probably parts of your development. I'm learning this about myself. It's fun. There's probably parts of your development that are actually stopped in childhood because you had a part of yourself that was not allowed. You had a part of yourself that was not appreciated and loved and nurtured the way it should have been when you were a child. Even if the people around you had their best intentions, this just happens, Nobody's perfect, including parents and including those around you, whatever, this is not me blaming everyone. This is just real. It happens to us. You probably had a part of you as a child that did not get the love and nurturing and care that it needs, and that is feeling like an exile, and you need to let that kid be a kid. You need to let them speak up. You need to let yourself be irrational. You need to let yourself just figure it out, just as you would when you were younger if you were allowed to. Now you're older. Now you're the adult in your life. Now you can give yourself room to do that. So please do. Okay, TED Talk over. Let me see who else I've got, because it's 11:58. I think I might have a couple more cards for people. Let me see here. Do I have more cards? I see Ardell. I'll show you what it shows like. I got this comment and it's just like an empty comment, and I'm like, I don't know if maybe they were dropping a cat, and for some reason when I go to actual Facebook it won't show me, so that's really annoying. Let's see comments. Am I still live on Facebook, everybody? Because when I go to Facebook, it tells me the live video has ended. What is even happening right now? I don't know. I'm sorry. Please feel free to join me somewhere else if you can't see me wherever you're watching. But of course, if you can't see me wherever you're watching, you wouldn't know. Okay, Judith, you're totally seeing and hearing. It's good. Facebook's just a bag of chaos. Okay. Yes. So Judith wants a card. Okay. Yes, I got a card for you. Let's see if there's anyone else that I missed. I want to just make sure. Yes, Judith said meow. Big beautiful meow. Is there anyone else that I didn't get to? So Ardell, if you're still tuned in and you want a card, please just like comment literally anything so that I know you do, and I will give you a card. That's how I will manage that like weird empty comment that came up for me. Judith, and that's it. Okay, good. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and being a part of this. This is amazing. We got our last card, and it's noon on the dot. So we did this just right. Fate was with us today in a positive way. Judith, this card is for you. I want to let you all know, if you are enjoying these readings, you're welcome to throw some love in the virtual tip jar. That is in the link in my bio and in the description. I'm never going to DM you and ask you for money. If anyone does that, they're a scammer. I'm never going to say, send me a friend request so I can do a reading. If someone does that, they're a scammer. I just want to remind you that. If you do want to throw some love my way, you're super welcome to. My Venmo is @RoryKelly. My PayPal is paypal.me/Rory Kelly, and that's spelled RoryKelly. That is in the link in my bio and Instagram, and it is also in the description wherever you're watching this, Facebook, etc. Elizabeth says meow. Oh, Elizabeth, I got you. Don't worry. Thank you for reminding me. Don't worry, I'll get to you. If you do want a full reading with me, if one card is not doing it for you and you want a full reading, you want to go deeper, my Etsy is the place to do that, and it's the only place to do that. I will no longer do readings through DMs because there's too many scammers. If anyone asks you to DM them for a reading, it's not me, it's a scammer. Okay? Okay, good. Etsy.com/Sassafras Tarot is where you can get that done. Again, the link is there in my bio for you, and I think in the description of this broadcast as well. What else? Oh, I have a podcast named Sassafras Cast. And if you would like to check it out, Sassafras Cast, all one word, wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can find it. Okay. Cool. I'm going to pull a card for Judith and then a card for Elizabeth. Elizabeth, did you have a particular question or just want a general card? Let me know while I pull Judith's card. Judith, your card is the Knight of Wands, my dear. Hello, Aries season. Talk about your inner fire. It's time. It's time to fuck shit up. It's time to be the positive force of chaos in the world right now. You know, sometimes we have to like Mount Vesuvius a little. We have this volcano, right, in the background. We have a little bit of an explosion, and we have this young witch here with a cat behind them. And with magic already coming out of there. Like, they don't even know what they're doing yet. They're just like, I'm ready, I got my power. That's the energy to bring to the world right now. You may not know exactly what is needed, but you have a sense that a shakeup is needed. And it's okay to be the source of that shakeup right now. Like, embrace your lover's devil energy. Be the source of that shakeup. Say things that need to be said. You know, be honest, be unflinchingly honest sometimes. And allow yourself to be the agent of chaos, knowing that people don't always like that, but you're able to handle that at this moment in your life. And, you know, like, when you speak your truth, even if it's like a volcano, it's usually for a reason if it's a volcano, right? It's because something needs to be said, and it needed to be said for so long that now we have a problem, right? So don't wait anymore. Don't delay. You know, like, go ahead and say the thing and explode if you got to explode, you know? And if you feel like later you're like, oh, crap, I was kind of an asshole when I exploded. Sorry. Like, it's cool to apologize, but don't take back what you said if it needed to be said. Make sure that you're honest, you know? Allow your fire to guide you in a big way. Wands, fire, Aries energy. We're tuning into our inner fires this month, everybody. That's what's happening. Be the positive force of chaos. Woo, the time has come. Thank you. Thank you for narrating me in comments. I love you. It does seem very Judith, I know. All right, Elizabeth, I'm pulling a card for you right now. You are my final card for the day. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We have the Eight of Cups. Elizabeth, is there something you need to walk away from? Maybe emotionally you're already walking away from it. And I want to caution you that it's okay to close ourselves off sometimes emotionally when shit's not fair to us, when people aren't treating us right, when we're not getting what we need out of a situation. Sometimes we do have to be like, well, you know what? I can't leave this minute wall. I'm putting the wall up, like to protect myself. I want you to be careful about doing that for too long, though, because you don't deserve to go through life with walls up. That's not how we heal. That's not how we feel good. So if you're in a situation where you have to put up walls, I want to ask you if there are ways that you can remove yourself more fully from that situation. Sometimes we are required to walk away for our own good. And I'm not, again, disclaimer, right? I'm not the dump him tarot reader. I'm not the person who's like, leave that relationship, quit that job, unless you really want to and think it's right for you and be for your healing. Because I'm also not the person who's like, stay with him, he's your soulmate. Like, whoo, that can be toxic advice, right? I'm just here to tell you to follow your heart. And if there's something you need to walk away from, I'm giving you permission to do it right now because your heart is more important, okay? It's more important that you take care of yourself than that you like toe the line or do everything exactly right, you know what I mean? Or do what other people are telling you to do. It's more important for you to look out for your own heart right now. Sometimes walking away is like walking into the unknown because we don't know where we're going. We just know we're moving away from what isn't working, right? It can take a leap of faith. Give yourself that leap of faith because you have the maturity and wisdom to start fresh in a situation that's better for you, in a situation that honors who you are instead of challenges who you are, okay? You deserve that. All right, everybody. This brings us to the end of the Witchy Weather Report. I will remind you once again, if you're on Instagram, check out the links in my bio. If you are watching anywhere else, check out the links in the description. Sassafras Cast, everywhere podcasts are. I'm at Sassafras Tarot on all the social medias and also on Etsy, where you can order a full reading with me if you want. Reminder, our card for the month is the Hermit. When in doubt, tune into your inner fire. Give yourself time, give yourself space. Give yourself, your inner fire is like a child, right? Your inner child wants to feel safe to come out. And once it does, it'll be like a little maniac, right? Like my cat, Kaylee. Your inner child, your inner fire, your inner everything, right? It's vulnerable. It will not come out if it doesn't feel safe. If you don't give it the right environment, it'll just be like, yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere near that. If you give yourself an environment of calm and peace and like create some space for yourself, your inner fire will come right out and let you know what it needs and what it wants, and you should listen. That is the biggest wisdom for you right now this month. Okay? Okay. Have a wonderful everybody. I'll see you again soon. Take good care.